What?
Hey, this is Dylan with CDB Vids, and today we're going to show you the restoration on the 75 Camaro. Further videos, past videos, we've kind of explained the Camaro. Might even made a video on kind of what I wanted to do with it, and today's going to be the day that we actually start digging into it. We're going to take some parts off, see what we all got to replace once we really dig down deep into it. So while we're here, we'll just kind of go through another tiny little bit of walkthrough and kind of what I'm going to do today. One of the main things I'm going to do is take the hood off, and we will eventually replace the hood. It's got this crappy ass cowl hood that they actually bolted on. It's got some hail dents in it that's chipped it up. We got paint chips on here, and as you know, in a 75 Camaro, nothing ever really lines up because they're all heavy parts. So put some new brackets on there. Hopefully it works better. We're going to be replacing the passenger fender. When I bought this, it had this big dent in it. He had something fall on it. So we'll take the fender off and see what's underneath there. Windshield's cracked. We'll eventually get to the windshield. Probably not in this video, but we will eventually get to it. And then just typical quarter panel rust. Might have to replace this whole quarter, otherwise just kind of the bottom parts and the rockers, and kind of just dig down deep to see if we do have extra rust problems and what this is really going to entail. So stay tuned, and we will go through the process of taking the parts off. Here's a look under the hood. To pop the hoods on these, if you didn't already know, it's just there's a lever down here that you pull, and it's kind of tricky. You gotta pull it hard down and put your finger in there and catch it at the same time. And that's Cole right there. You guys probably know him in the past videos, the Dodge owner, where he's my sidekick and working partner. So we're just going to show you how to take the hood off on these cars. They come with the hood and then the brackets, and everything in here is original, so I'm going to actually end up replacing it because it's probably old in time too. Otherwise it's going to need some oil and straightening and stuff like that. So what Cole's doing right now is he's taking off the hood from the actual bracket frame, and that's actually a 9/16 wrench or socket, if you say, and two bolts, one in the front, one in the back, and same on this side, and that'll be taking that off. The next thing to take the bracket off, the same thing, just two bolts. Kind of hard to see. I'll get the light out for the next shot, but it's just on there by a spring, and opening and closing them all the time, they get worn out. So now that we got the hood off, all that's left is the actual hood mounts. Actually kind of debating whether I just leave them on for now or take them off, but taking them off is as simple as taking the hoods off. It's all just two bolts, one right here and one that's a little bit harder to reach down in there, and that would take the whole mount off. I'll probably gonna end up replacing these, just get some newer ones that I know will work. One thing that when you do put the hoods on there, they leave you a pretty big space. That way you can adjust your hood if you need to slide it forward, you need to slide it back. Everything is all adjustable too. So I guess while I have the hood off, I'll kind of go through the engine with you too. The biggest thing about this car right now that is the problem is kind of all the wiring. Still all original for the lights, electronics, and there are some wires that are open and frayed, and I've had some issues with my lights before where there's a short somewhere. I can push my clutch in, the lights come on, take my clutch off, and no lights. So there's a short somewhere or ground somewhere that I will find. I'd like to pull the engine out and see what's wrong with it. If there's anything wrong with it, maybe give it a good cleanup or a tune. Otherwise, I've got a buddy that works at Blueprint Motors, and debating right now whether I can just go and buy a Blueprint motor and put a different motor in here too. So I guess that'll be a surprise for you guys in the next couple videos on kind of really what happens. So just giving this thing more horse than it can handle. Hey guys, I know we didn't really show you how to take the fenders off, but they were kind of a pain in the ass. I'll just kind of go over how we took them off, and if you have any questions, send us a comment in there, and I can try to help you as best as I can. But basically, what you have to do to take the fenders off, there's 9/16 bolts, about 4 or 5 of them on the front, on the top up here, 1 or 2 on the bottom, and they're going to connect to the cab itself. And here in this frame, there's plenty that go along in here. There's one inside the door that you have to open the door and take it off itself. A couple underneath. And to take the fenders off, it's just helpful to take everything off. So take the front clip off. The fenders go. There's 2 bolt pieces that go here. You can put those in. The front clip actually bolts in here. You have to take these off. They're a pain in the ass to get to. Stuff by the there's 4 bolts by the battery, 4 bolts over here by this pump, and what we ended up having to do is we had to take the actual light bulbs out so we could reach our hands inside the light frame and undo those bolts. To take the front clip off, there's three bolts right here that connect to this frame, and that's kind of a lot that hangs on, except for there's a bolt here and then a bolt on that side and then these things. But to take the front clip off, you also have to take the underskirt off, and the underskirt is pretty easy. It was the 2 bolts in here that also connected to the fender and the front clip, and then there was 1 bolt underneath the bottom. There's actually 2 bolts. Mine was actually broken off. Fiberglass breaks pretty easy, so I only had to take 1 bolt off. But as you can see, we took both fenders off, the front clip off, and the underskirt off. We actually just got done taking the radiator out, drained the antifreeze. Don't tell the EPA. But we had the antifreeze. We drained the radiator, took it out, took the cover off, took the fan off to take the radiator out. And our next step is we're just gonna wait till we get an engine hoist to take the engine out. And for now, we're just gonna go down and start sanding down the parts that we're gonna keep and put an undercoat paint on. So stay tuned for some more videos. Eventually we've replaced the shocks in the front, and we'll do some sanding videos and painting videos. And so like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.